I am not pregnant, but if I were preparing to get pregnant, was pregnant, or postpartum, these are things that I would personally want to remember as someone who has their bachelor's in exercise physiology. The first thing is that you are not eating for two in the sense that you are eating for you and another 2,000 calorie adult. I often find that people have this mentality and it leads to significant and unnecessary fat gain and overeating, and I do understand that cravings are a thing, but do not just go into it with the mentality that you can eat significantly more. Because while your baby has very important needs, it does not have 2,000 calories extra of needs. I remember having a professor say that it was practically like eating an extra half a turkey sandwich. And I only say this because I find that the mothers I work with, it can be mentally and physically taxing and emotionally taxing when they have significant fat gain after giving birth and feeling like they can't get right back into things. And on top of how hard pregnancy and postpartum is alone, especially if you deal with postpartum depression, it can be even more physically and mentally exhausting if you feel like you've lost even more sense of your identity or a sense of yourself. And it can feel very discouraging to have excess weight gain like that. And it is normal to gain some weight during your pregnancy. I don't want to say it's not normal, but just don't go into the mentality of you are eating for two grown adults, because you're not. And especially if you plan on getting pregnant again short after, it can be very discouraging if you do have a lot of excess fat that you are carrying into the next pregnancy. Not only is it not super healthy, but it's also gonna be harder to recover from each time if you're just adding and adding each pregnancy. The next thing I'd remember is that you do not need to discontinue any exercise that you were doing prior to pregnancy, unless your doctor has said to not do something specific, or it is something that is physically harming your stomach, such as laying on your stomach, doing burpees on your stomach. But you are okay to continue pretty much any physical activity into pregnancy as long as you're not harming your baby and you feel comfortable engaging your core correctly and having proper form and posture. Another thing I would personally want to do is one of those nutrient tests. When you are taking care of your body and have all the nutrients that your body needs, your baby is also going to be healthier and you're also going to feel better. The next thing I'd make sure that I did before pregnancy is make sure that I'm nailing down a nighttime routine. Because during pregnancy, there's obviously going to be discomforts that could affect your sleep. And then after pregnancy, you will obviously have some things that are out of your control when it comes to how much sleep you get at night. So if you are nailing down a routine, you are optimizing what you can control. Not that your night will be perfect, but what you can control will be beneficial to optimize the sleep you do get. I've run out of time, so make sure that you follow and stay tuned for the next parts.